Good evening, everybody, and welcome in here on the Buckeye Racing Network. I'm Tyler Bentley. Alongside me in the booth, as always, is Tim Henderson. Tim, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing just wonderful. How about yourself, buddy?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. We are live here at the dirt track at Charlotte with the League of Outlaws IMCA style modified division. It is their championship night, so it all boils down to this, their Season B championship night. And Chris Cox, Jared Murphy, Trevor Williams are all within striking distance for the championship here tonight. We'll be keeping an eye on those three. Qualifying is already rolling, and you see the times there on the left-hand side of the screen. Jared set quick time so far at a 17:39. A couple other cars out on the racetrack we'll take a look at. This is going to be Max Miriovsky in the number 19 machine. He completes, well, I thought maybe his first lap, or it may not count here, so we'll keep an eye on that. Works his way down into turn number 3. If you're joining us here on the Buckeye Racing Network, welcome in. Let us know who you're rooting for. And as always, subscribe to us so you know every time we go live. Mac's going to complete another lap here. Or so I thought. Oh, yeah, he did. He ran a 17.90. Good for 13th. And he just picked up to a 17.78. Good for 11th. AJ Hunsinger's one of the last cars left. James Murphy just shot up to the top of the board at a 17.36. AJ runs a 17.71. That's good for 10th. 14 cars are with us tonight. Coming around to complete the second lap. And he ran a 17.81, so he's going to get credited with a 17.71. That's going to bring a close here to qualifying. All 14 cars have put a lap in. And we should roll into heat racing action in just a moment. Well, Tim, I know this is championship night. We got 3 drivers within striking distance of the championship. Who's your pick?
Who's my pick for the race or for the championship?
For the championship tonight.
I might have to. It's tough. It's definitely a tough pick, but I'm gonna throw my hat in with Jared Murphy.
Jared
number
Murphy.
1 machine.
That's a great pick. I think I'm going to go with the points leader, Chris Cox. He's had a solid season up to this point. He comes into tonight with a 2-point advantage over Jared Murphy and a 12-point advantage over Trevor Williams, who's currently in third. So we'll keep an eye on their finishing positions tonight. We know first place gets 40 total points, and then it's 1 point less on down through the finishing order. So we'll have to keep an eye on the spacing between each driver and potentially how those points shake out when the night comes to a close. As you see, just about 15 seconds left here in the qualifying session. We're going to roll right into heat racing action. I believe we'll have 2 heats of 7 cars, and we do. Heat number 1, row number 1 is going to be James Murphy and Matt Pridgeon. Row 2 is going to be Trevor Williams and Trevor Doyle. Row 3 is going to be Derek Darnell and Christian White. Row 4 is going to have 1 car, and that's going to be Joshua Stewart. Cars are lined up behind the pace truck as he begins to roll. They'll roll in a couple of quick pace laps and we'll be underway. 8 laps the distance. We don't have to really worry about any transfers or anything. Everybody will get to race in the feature. Trevor Williams there. He's one of the 3 cars battling for the championship here tonight. He's on the inside of that second row in that number 57 machine. On his outside's the 024 of Trevor Doyle in a League of Outlaws inspired paint. Got all the sponsors and League of Outlaws decals on that machine here tonight. Sure, these drivers are ready to get rolling here. Pace car's going to dive into the infield. Jared Murphy's going to lead him through turns 3 and 4. Or excuse me, James Murphy, that's not Jared. James gets on the gas, green flag goes in the air, heat race 1 is underway. Trevor Williams looking to do battle, he's down low. He's inside of Trevor Doyle. I don't know, the top side might be a little bit to the advantage as James Murphy's going to lead lap number 1. But Trevor's not going to give up down low. He's going to dig as best he can down there. Christian White there in 5th, Derek Darnell in 6th. Matt Bridgen all over the rear bumper of James Murphy. He's going to look to his inside now. Nothing doing out of turn 2 that time. It's going to slot back in 2nd. Looks like Trevor Williams has decided to move up the racetrack just a bit. Settles in 4th. 4 laps down, 4 laps to go. In this first heat. I'll tell you, each lap that clicks by, James has ran just a touch faster. That time, Matt set the fastest lap of this heat so far. Was a 10th quicker than James. I think there's so much speed and grip in this racetrack right now, Tim. It's just momentum. You need to carry as much momentum constantly as you can.
Yeah, and guess who just took back that record for tonight? James Murphy.
White flag goes in the air for James. As we have pretty much even spacing here throughout the field. James going to work his way through turns 3 and 4. Checkered flag is in the air. James Murphy's going to win heat 1. Matt Bridgen 2nd. Trevor Doyle 3rd. Trevor Williams 4th. Christian White 5th. Derek Darnell 6th. And Joshua Stewart across the line in 7th. Heat number 2, gridding up behind the pace truck. Row number 1 is going to be Jared Murphy and Chris Cox. Row 2 is going to be Brody Duche and Ryan Philbrick. Row number 3 is going to be AJ Hunsinger and Max Miriofsky. Row number 4 is going to have one car. It's going to be Mitchell Maynard. Well, we see first and second endpoints on the front row of this second heat. Chris Cox on the outside is the points leader by 2. Jared Murphy there on the inside of row number 1 is currently second in points, just 2 in the rears of Chris Cox. Bit of a new name, I believe, up to this point with the League of Outlaws. I have not seen him race yet that I know of. That's Ryan Philbrick on the outside of row number 2. Welcome him in here. Going to take the green flag this time, and Mr. Tim Henderson, how about you bring us racing here in Heat 2?
The 2 championship point leaders, as Bentley said. will pace the field at an even 36 mile an hour through 3, waiting on Jared to launch that car as he does right now. Gets a great launch side by side for second between Brody Duche and Chris Cox. I believe that is Hunsinger looking for a way to get by the both of these two, as we have Mitchell Menard, or I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Working the very bottom of the track in the 69 machine.
Absolutely. We haven't seen too many people have success down low, but it's looking like he's maybe trying to complete the pass on A.J. Hunsinger there for that 5th spot. Not quite able to do it this time. Back up front, Chris Cox is all over the rear bumper of Jared Murphy into turn number 1. He's actually going to look to the inside here. Almost was even with him out of the corner, going to fall right back in line. Brody Duche battled right now by A.J. Hunsinger and Mitchell Maynard. Mitchell's still all the way down on the bottom. Battle for the lead, and the battle is on for third. Oh, Chris Cox slides up, and there's contact between Chris and Jared there out of turn 4. 3 laps to go in this second heat. A.J. Hunsinger was able to complete the pass on Brody Duche. He's now third. Mitchell Maynard's looking to the inside of Brody here in 3 and 4. Now 2 laps to go. Jared Murphy's running the cushion. Chris is trying to look for a little bit of grip underneath of him. AJ's comfortably now in third. White flag goes in the air for Jared Murphy. Chris tried a little bit of a slider line there in 1 and 2. Out of turn number 4, Jared Murphy's going to win heat 2. Chris Cox second, AJ Hunsinger third, Brody Duche fourth, Mitchell Maynard fifth, Ryan Philbrick sixth, and Max Miriofsky was 7th. All right. Right into the feature race here tonight. Front row is going to be James and Jared Murphy. Row 2 is going to be Matt Pridgeon and Chris Cox. Row 3 is going to be Trevor Doyle and A.J. Hunsinger. Row 4 is going to be Trevor Williams and Brody Duche. Row 5 is going to be Christian White and Mitchell Maynard. Row 6 is going to be Derek Darnell and Ryan Philbrick. And I believe we got one more row. We do. That's going to be Joshua Stewart and Max Miriofsky. All right, 40 laps the distance for these drivers here tonight at the dirt track of Charlotte. Trevor Williams has just a little bit of work to do, and he has to have some extra help tonight if he looks to claim a championship here with the League of Outlaws. But you have to think, if they was to finish the way they are running right now, it would be a points tie, and they would have to go to a tiebreaker here, and I'm not sure what that tiebreaker would be, Tim.
No, but as you were saying, Chris Cox just needs to finish within 2 of Jared.
Absolutely.
As far as I'm aware with the points. I don't know if they hand out bonus points or whatnot, but if it's just straight up, then he just needs to finish within 2.
Yep, so that is a storyline we will be following all feature long. Out of turn 4, green flag is in the air. We're ready to rock and roll here at Charlotte. Battle is on for second. Matt Pridgeon, Jared Murphy, and Chris Cox is all right there battling for that second place position. Matt Pridgeon on the inside. Let's see if he gets any help there. A little bit of beating and banging. Trevor Williams, Trevor Doyle made some contact there out of turn 2 that last time around. Williams trying to see if he can get that inside line to prevail and make that pass on Trevor Doyle. He does this time out of turn 4. AJ Hunsinger all the way up to the cushion. Everybody else decided to run that lower line. Jared Murphy second. Chris Cox still in fourth. Uh-oh.
Wow.
Contact there. I think that was a little bit of an accordion effect with Brody and AJ. Trevor Williams looking to sneak by on the inside of AJ. He does now. He's going to look to pick off one more into turn number 1. He's still there on the inside. Our top 4 all single file. Both the Murphy brothers, Matt Pridgeon and Chris Cox. Side by side still here for 5th. Oh no, contact. Brody and Trevor.
How did they keep it straight?
Got to be careful. Maybe some frustration there from Trevor. He knows he's there on the inside. Brody pinching him off again out of turn 4. I mean, if you're there, I guess you do need to give some room. There's no doubt about it. Tough battling. Ryan Philbrick, he's moved up a spot. He went around the outside of AJ Hunsinger. AJ Hunsinger slid back to 8th. He's under fire now from Christian White. Christian White is on the inside and looking to move forward. Already 8, working lap number 8. Now number 9 here. Trevor Williams. Oh, be careful. He's going to get the boot from behind and get spun around and tagged by Christian White. And that's going to bring our first caution flag of the night out. Man, I don't know. If I was in Trevor Williams' shoes, I would be frustrated with the number 9. Because he pinched Trevor once more there in the middle of 1 and 2. And I know the number 3J machine really didn't mean to give Trevor the boot there, but he was not able to check up in time and sent him around, and Christian White had nowhere else to go, also making contact with Trevor Williams. Same for Mitchell Maynard there.
Well, as the points stand, if the race finishes now, I believe it would be a tie.
I'm going to say you are correct. I mean, Jared is in 2nd. Chris is in 4th. That's a 2-point differential. That would go down to a tiebreaker for the championship here tonight. So far, some of the bigger movers here in the race, I believe, Ryan Philbrick, as of right now, he's up 6 spots from his starting spot. He's running 6th, up 6 spots, so 12th to 6th so far for Ryan. Max Miriovsky up 5.
I'll tell you what, James Murphy takes the outside this time.
Yes, sir, he does. He fires. We're back underway.
Launches.
Look at Chris Cox. He's a little bit of contact with Jared there out of turn 2. I don't think that was intentional. They're just racing hard. Chris is trying to fall in line right behind Jared, but Matt Pridgeon is down low. He's there. Chris can't quite drop right in line. He's going to make contact with Matt some more there out of turn 4. I don't think Matt's going to take too kindly to that as well. We got a caution flag.
I think it was Christian White in the 07 machine. No, it was not. It was Max Maravosky.
Yeah, and that was just a fight. It looks like real estate into turn 1 and 2. He spun down into the grass, into the infield after making contact with Ryan Philbrick, it looked like. So, brings the second caution flag out of the night. Tell you what, we've seen some aggression there out of Chris Cox on that last restart. He was trying to cut Matt Pridgeon out of line and drop right in behind Jared Murphy. He knows what that position means. If he gets around Matt, that is that point he needs to get out of the tie situation with the number 1 of Jared Murphy. Field's going to double file. James deciding to take, the outside one more time. Tim, I think it sounded like you had the itch. Why don't you bring us back to the green flag?
I do have I have an inch. All right. I'm excited for this points battle. As James Murphy leads the whole field through 3. He launches. Jared launches even with him. 2 by 2 going into turn 1. Chris Cox just little contact with him and Brody. Or no, that's Matt Pridgeon. I'm sorry. I went the wrong way with the camera. Contact, big contact. They kept it straight yellow.
Man, oh man, talk about battling. Matt's probably not going to be too happy with Chris there after that, I don't believe. And he is not. I think he's voicing his displeasure. I believe Max Miriovsky was the cause of the yellow flag this time. We're going to take a look and see. Oh, unfortunately, the 52 machine runs right up into him there out of turn 4, causing Max to bring the yellow flag out and spin down the front straightaway. I don't think the 52 even knew Max was there. Unfortunate for Max. Christian White going to get the wave. Oh, I'm telling you what, I think we're going to have some tempers going here. So I'm telling you what, Chris Cox was racing Matt Pridgeon like it was for the win in these past couple of restarts.
I think Chris Cox just has to be careful.
I think so. You know, it's kind of a double-edged sword. I know he's wanting to limit the space between him and Jared, but if you make another driver frustrated in the meantime, you never know what's going to happen. Not to say anything will, but, you know. You don't want to make...
certainly make it difficult.
That they can. That they can going forward. James Murphy chose the outside once more. Green flag back in the air. James with a great launch out of turn number 4. Oh, beating and banging again once more between Chris Cox and Matt Pridgeon.
Here comes Hunsinger all the way around the outside. Contact between Matt Pridgeon and Chris Cox.
Still making contact, Chris Cox and Matt Pridgeon into turn number 1. AJ's looking to take advantage of it. Uh-oh, Chris Cox goes around. That's going to bring the yellow flag out. Not good for Chris Cox. Let's try to dissect this once more. You see, down into turn one, Chris Cox, Matt Pridgeon contact. That hurts Chris Cox's entry. He wasn't able to enter the way he wanted to. Car gets really sideways. The 9 of Brody Duche gets underneath of him here. Makes contact, sends him sideways and around. The 3J, the 86, nowhere to go. They kind of pile in with a chain reaction. There, Mitchell Maynard, Christian White does a good job to try to avoid that in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Well, one thing's for sure, Chris Cox has some work to do. Jared Murphy is still second, and Chris Cox has got to gain back up to 4, so he's got to pass 10 cars. He's still got some laps to do it. Still got 25 laps to go, so there is still time. But
a little over half the race.
But if you're Chris Cox, you do got to be careful. It seems like he has not made. It looks like he may have made an enemy with Matt Pridgeon going forward, so things may not be easy for Chris coming back up through the field here. We will keep an eye on that. Be careful, the 9 almost jumped that restart. Green flag goes back in the air. Side by side battling for third. Hunsinger on the outside. Pridgeon on the inside. Side by side for fourth right behind them. Look at Brody Duche with a great run out of turn 4. 3 wide for third. Brody on the inside. Matt in the middle. AJ up top. Contact. Brody and Matt into turn 1. Uh-oh, be careful. 3, almost 4 wide for a second there. For third. Man, we have got a plethora of cars right here. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, all together. Battling. Brody and AJ side by side for third. Trevor Doyle up, trying to get the cushion working in.
As James takes the halfway marker from the flag stand. He leads Jared, Brody, AJ, Trevor Williams, and Trevor Doyle.
Trevor Williams all the way down near those tires once again, trying to make up a bunch of ground. Real quick, we're going to check on Chris Cox. He's made up a few spots. He's battling now for 11th, trying to move forward as quickly as possible. Laps are ticking away slowly but surely. And don't look now, but Matt Pridgeon is on the inside. Christian White goes for a spin, bringing out the next yellow flag. That's our 5th caution so far. Tell you what, Christian White kind of bullied his way around Matt Pridgeon. Christian didn't enter very well into turn 1, and Matt, carrying all that momentum, tags him in the rear and spins him around. Chris Cox is now back up to 10th. Him and Matt Pridgeon side by side. We will have to keep an eye on these two. We know Matt's not very happy with him. And he's not cutting him any slack here down the front straightaway. I'm not sure if the admins will have any action for these two going forward or not, but Matt's definitely voicing his displeasure there. And then on the other side of the coin, if you're Jared Murphy, you're looking at that and going, hey, at this point, you know, you're fine running second to your brother, because you have enough positions between yourself and Chris that you would be the points champion. Looks like Matt Bridgen was maybe given an EOL there. He's going to restart at the tail in 14th. Green flag back in the air. And I'll tell you, AJ with a fantastic restart. He's on the outside of Jared, out of turn number 2. Can he complete that pass? Be careful, Brody Duche and Derek Darnell contact. More contact. Brody Duche gets hit from behind and goes for a spin. That's going to bring our 6th yellow out of the night. So getting down into turn number 1. I think Brody's car just gets a little bit sideways, too sideways. Trevor Doyle was carrying a bunch of momentum and just tagged him there in the left rear, and it was enough to send that number 9 machine around. Yeah, it looks like AJ had enough to get around Jared. So move AJ into the 2nd position.
That just brings the gap closer for Chris Cox.
Yep, that it does. Chris has now scored in the 7th position, and Jared is scored in the 3rd position. So only 4 cars between. Chris is
7th.
From what I'm seeing here on my end, yes. And Chris has been fighting hard to get back up there. 17 laps to go. James Murphy going to take the inside. AJ Hunsinger will restart on the outside. Jared Murphy and Derek Darnell, row 2. Trevor Williams, Max Miriovsky, row 3. Chris Cox, Mitchell Maynard, row 4. So we get the restart. We're back underway once again. AJ not quite as good a restart as last time. He's going to be battling Jared for 2nd. Jared's going to slide up across the nose of AJ. AJ maybe going to look to turn back underneath of him here in 3 and 4. Derek Darnell trying to follow Jared around the outside. AJ's going to slide back to 3rd. Trevor Williams might be considering 3 wide as the yellow flag waves once more. Thinking it might have been the number 9 machine. He makes contact with Mitchell Maynard. Hard contact with Mitchell Maynard, and that car goes around and brings the yellow flag out. I don't think Brody even knew Mitchell was on his outside at that moment. Mitchell Maynard's car has some pretty serious damage as well. Still a lot of laps left. Jared Murphy finds himself back in second. A couple of cars still in the pit lane. One to go signal this time. Tim, how about you bring us to the green flag?
James Murphy elects to take the inside this time. Pacing through 3. Waiting to launch as he does. AJ a little sideways on the launch. Allows Jared to run around the outside and take over second as AJ slides up, takes over third. I believe that's Trevor Williams on the inside of Derek Darnell, who's on the outside trying to take over fourth. Chris Cox has moved his way up a position, trying to get by both of them. We got one around. I think that's Christian White in turn 3.
And it was Christian that went around. He got help from the 024 of Trevor Doyle, just a speed differential. Christian on the bottom. Trevor enters a little harder and just clips Christian and spins his car around. Unfortunately, a caution-filled night tonight up to this point here. And I think a lot of it's just the speed differential on how drivers are choosing to enter into the corners here. At least that's what I'm observing. Have you noticed anything different, Tim?
Throughout the night, it looks like everyone's starting to move up a little bit more and more with each lap. That's all I've noticed.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that too, but these past couple yellows have just been drivers on the inside and then drivers behind them entering a lot different and tagging them in the rear, you know, spinning their cars out. That's just been something interesting to me as the nights went along. James Murphy brings us to another restart. Green flag back in the air once more. Battle is on for second. AJ underneath Jared. Here out of turn 2. Jared with an awesome run. Uh-oh, AJ with some issues. Trevor Williams bouncing off of him. I think everybody's still going straight, but guess what? With that exchange, Chris Cox has found his way back up into the third place position right behind Jared Murphy, and the championship battle resumes once again. Our first three are single file. Derek Darnell fourth, AJ Hunsinger fifth, and they are battling and beating and banging off each other just behind. Now 9 laps to go. James Murphy's looking to set sail over his brother Jared and Chris Cox. Derek Darnell has company now to the likes of AJ Hunsinger. Hunsinger on the inside with a much better run through turns 3 and 4.
Hey, you know what?
What's that?
Chris Cox right behind Jared Murphy, right where he needs to be.
Absolutely. AJ Hunsinger, Derek Darnell really battling Hunsinger through a slider last time through 3 and 4. And he's going to move up into 4th. Derek Darnell slots back to 5th. Max Mariovsky up 8 spots to 6th, our biggest mover of the night to this point. Brushes the wall. Now he's challenged to the inside from Brody Duche. Brody's going to complete that pass down the back straightaway. Chris Cox is to the rear bumper of Jared Murphy with 5 laps remaining. This is your championship battle, folks. They have a gap in front and a gap to everybody behind.
Wow. Trevor Williams slid all the way up from the bottom to the top to complete a pass on Max. I can't say anyone's last name apparently right now.
I'll tell you what, James has opened up almost a 2.5 second advantage over Jared and Chris. Now 2 laps to go. Brody Duche, big slider on AJ Hunsinger. Hunsinger going to turn it back underneath of him here down the back straightaway. He's going to repay that favor in 3 and 4. White flag goes in the air for our race leader. Big advantage out back through turns 3 and 4. And to the checkered flag. James Murphy's going to bring it home here at Charlotte. The battle for second. Chris Cox looked to the inside. He's going to settle for third. Jared Murphy's going to be second. AJ Hunsinger going to be credited with 4th. And Brody Duche in 5th. What a night. What a season here with the League of Outlaws. And I believe if everything that we know is correct in the booth, Chris Cox would be the champion here tonight. There's the top 3 sitting on the front straightaway. We'll take a look here at the final results. We already talked about your top 5. Derek Darnell is going to come home 6th. Trevor Williams in 7th. Christian White 8th. Matt Bridge in 9th. Trevor Doyle in 10th. Ryan Philbrick 11th. Joshua Stewart 12th. Max Mariovsky 13th. And Mitchell Maynard in 14th. Now we'll get a word in here with our top 3. Starting out with our 3rd place finisher, Chris Cox. Hey, Chris, Tyler, and Tim up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
All righty, man. You bring it home third tonight, but we kept an eye on that points battle. I know it was a close one between you and Jared. Only 2 points separated you here coming into tonight, and you happen to finish only one spot behind him by my count. It looks like that would credit you with the championship here tonight. Tell us how you feel.
Well, I got caught a dirty driver at the beginning of that race. Even though it was only one line. I got Matt trying to come after me for penalties for, he was calling me a dirty driver, but whatever it takes to win a championship. I'd like to thank my sponsors, LoO Fabrication, for coming on board this year. He does a lot in Iowa, supporting other drivers. I'm very thankful he came on board and helped me do iRacing stuff. And I push his stuff out, advertise for him. LoO Fabrication. Like to thank Hogland Auto Plaza for coming on board, for sponsoring me. They do tow truck work over at Marshtown. Who else? MJC Desktop Fabrication doing all my 3D printing work. Really, that's just our at-home business. That's how we make money around here. Chris Cox Gaming for making awesome videos. I run that too. What else? IMCA for just being so awesome that everybody wants to replicate it. Some people just don't know how to do it 100%, but just how it is. I think I'm gonna be starting up a league sometime soon. Making these cars actually 100% as close as you can make them to an IMCA car. What else? Yeah, that's basically everything.
All right, man. Well, congratulations coming home third. Congratulations on the championship. I know you mentioned the battling with Matt there, and I know you said he was upset, and I think at one point you got the worst end of the stick. You had to drop all the way to the back, and you fought your way back up to third tonight.
Yep.
So
yeah, I got told that I stick my noses in places they don't belong, even though I was up past his nose. Heck, my door was past his nose. Then he tried to threaten me that he was going to try to drive me the same way that I was supposedly driving him, but I obviously didn't see it out there, and the damage that I took on my left front kind of made me come up into him, and I guess it gave him even more damage. And then I went to the back and got damage on the right front, I think, or before that somewhere, and I just wheeled it on the top all the way back up to third with towed out left fronts and right fronts. It just
it was an amazing.
Just how it is sometimes.
It was an amazing battle back up towards the front of the field. I got Tim Henderson in the booth here as well. Tim, you have anything to ask Chris?
Yeah, outside of the little elbows and jabs, how was the track transition for you tonight?
Start with, it was kind of just one lane at the bottom. It kind of made it hard to really do anything, especially with these tires. You got to milk them until basically almost the end, and then you can finally go at it. And it made it hard. You had to try to share the bottom, and some people just don't want to share. Otherwise, once we got, I want to say maybe 10 laps. Well, when was that last caution, or the caution before that, around there? Then you could open it up and let her eat up on the middle and the top.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for getting a word in here with us. Congratulations on your championship here tonight. We'll let you celebrate it.
All right, have a good night, guys.
You too. That was our third place finisher and our points champion, Mr. Chris Cox. Now we'll move on to our second place finisher, Mr. Jared Murphy. Hey, Jared, Tyler and Tim up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Congratulations on bringing that car home in second place tonight. I think you come up just a bit short on the championship to Chris Cox. Tell us about your night and about your season.
Well, I had a good season, but just to correct you, I do believe I have him in the championship because of the incident points he had in the main. It's not official yet, but I do think I won the championship. But anyway, I had a good night tonight. I qualified good and won my heat race. Kind of just rode behind James right there the whole race.
Yeah, absolutely. You stayed behind your brother and had a good run and stayed away from some of the more craziness of things that happened behind you. I don't know if you knew any of that, but there was some craziness on back, dogfighting, if you will.
Yeah, I heard. I was in Discord with a couple of the guys, and I heard some arguing going back and forth. I know Chris got into me a few times on from restarts. So I figured they was scrapping behind us. But I was just content on riding right around the bottom for most of the race, and then race it out at the end. That's what my plan was.
And just for the folks at home, I know we were just talking to Chris Cox, and I wasn't aware of the incident point rule in the point standings, so it may end up turning out that Jared here is the champion. I know I was crediting Chris with it, but we will find out officially in good time. So if that is the case, Jared, congratulations to you on the championship here tonight.
Thank you, sir. AJ should have the points done within 5 to 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, sir. And Tim, do you have anything to ask maybe our champion here tonight, Jared?
Well, maybe champion. How was the car tonight? How'd you feel throughout the race?
I was comfortable. I like this track. This track's pretty local to us in the real life, so I do a lot of I watched a lot of racing here growing up, so I like this track, and the setups was fucking perfect tonight. It was good racing all around. It had to do a little bit of tire saving at the beginning, but towards the end there, we put on some good racing.
Yeah, absolutely, Jared. Well, before we let you go, who would you like to thank?
I'll thank y'all for broadcasting it, the League of Outlaws for all their hard work, AJ Huntsinger for the rap, and Talking Dirt.
All right, man. Congratulations finishing second and potentially the championship. We'll let you celebrate it.
Thank you, sir.
That was their second place finisher and potential points winner, Jared Murphy. Now we'll get to talk to the race winner here tonight, Mr. James Murphy. Hey, James, Tyler and Tim up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. You run another solid race here tonight at the dirt track at Charlotte. Lead a ton of laps, I think most every lap tonight, and bringing home in victory lane. Tell us about it.
Hey, we got quick time and led every lap in the heat race and went on to lead every lap in the main. So I knew I had Jarrett behind me, so he wouldn't run me over. So I wouldn't say we was working together, but I knew he wouldn't wreck it. So I was able to save some tire at the beginning, and he said some people was getting up, so I decided to get to the top, and it seemed like I was starting to pull away at the end right there. So I felt pretty good.
Absolutely, man. Well, you had a good season. I think you're going to bring it home third, maybe fourth in the point standings as well. So another good season for you. Tim, you have anything to ask James?
I asked a couple of I asked Jared and I asked Chris. How was the track for you tonight?
I thought the track was good. I was plenty racy, but like I said, we had to save tires at the beginning, so it was kind of one lane. But once you got to the end right there, it was multiple lanes, and everybody was racing somewhere on the track. So I was comfortable on the top, so we was able to pull away. And like I said, I thought the track was perfect, and the setup was good too.
Well, before we let you go, James, who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank y'all for broadcasting and League of Outlaws putting it on, and AJ Huntsinger with the rap and Talking Dirt.
All righty, buddy. Well, we'll let you go celebrate that race win here. Thanks for joining us in the booth.
I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
That was your race winner tonight, Mr. James Murphy. Well, as we are wrapping up things here from the dirt track at Charlotte, I know there was a bit of confusion on our end, and I'm sorry to the folks at home. I may have jumped the gun with who would be the eventual points champion, but I just have gotten official word that Jared Murphy is going to be your points champion here tonight. He's going to win the championship over Chris Cox by 3 points. And James Murphy is going to finish third in the point standings. So congratulations once again to Mr. Jared Murphy. And I just wanted to let you all know for sure that Jared Murphy did secure the championship here tonight. Any closing thoughts from you, Tim?
No, I'm just wow. I wasn't. This is my first time seeing this track in action in the sim or in any type of way. I don't think I've ever watched a race from the dirt track at Charlotte. Uh, just awesome race. A lot of aggression, but it comes with racing.
That it does. I mean, when it all comes down tonight to that championship battle, and only just 2 points were separating Jared Murphy and Chris Cox coming into the night, so the aggression level was going to be turned up high for sure. And we saw some really aggressive racing, really good racing. Had a lot of fun here tonight from Charlotte. Upcoming on the schedule for us here on the Buckeye Racing Network, tomorrow night we'll be live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time with the Regal Promotions Esports 360 Sprint Car Division. They're going to be at Fairbury Speedway for the next race on their schedule. And Tuesday and on Thursday evening at 9 Eastern, we will be live with the Short Track Rivals Racing Fixed 358 Modifieds on Tuesday night and the Open Setup Pro Late Models on Thursday night. Remember to hit that subscribe button to know exactly when we go live here on the Buckeye Racing Network. And that's going to do it for us tonight from Charlotte. For Tim Henderson, I'm Tyler Bentley. Good night.